Like I said in the beginning, you win some, you lose some. Didn't go the way I wanted it to go. Now we figure out exactly what happened, why it happened that way, what things are going to look like going forward from here. And to do so, figured we want to bring one of the people on who's one of the good people in the Senate and had the courage to at least publicly announce who he was supporting, which was Rick Scott, of course. Joining me now, the coach, Senator from the great state of Alabama, Coach Tommy Tuberville. Okay, Coach, for those of us who've never been part of some exclusive fancy Senate meeting, it sounds awesome, to be honest with you. What happened? Where did this take place? What did it look like? Normal people don't know what you fancy senators do behind closed doors.
Well, this vote, Jesse, happened in the Capitol, in the old Senate room. That was the very first one years and years ago. Nice place. The acoustics are not as good as you would like, but at the end of the day, there were some long speeches, some nominations from certain people pushing their candidate, and there were some good talks. Got a little boring at the end, to be honest. It got long after about 4 hours, but we only had two positions. We only had the leader and the conference chair. Tom Cotton won the conference chair. He's going to be very good at that. I like Tom. He's all in. Disappointed that my person that I voted for, Rick Scott, did not win the leader of the Senate for 2019 conference. He only got 13 votes, as you see there. John Cornyn got 15. John Thune 23. So it was pretty much over after that because you only had to have 27 votes, and Thune was close. And the reason I voted for Rick Scott and tried to get other people to vote for him was because he is an American first all the way. He believes in MAGA. He's a Donald Trump guy. He was right along with me. I was the first one to come out for President Trump. I think Rick was close behind. They're good friends. They communicate well. And Rick's not a politician. He was John Thune won, and he's going to have to prove that he can work with President Trump. He'll have to do everything he possibly can, but it's over. Now we can go on with it and start trying to put America first again.
Okay, let's go on with it. Let's focus on, well, what I think is the best part of this first. You mentioned Tom Cotton, Republican Conference Chair. What kind of power is that for people who don't understand the workings of the Senate? What does that mean? And I understand Tom Cotton is obviously going to be much more pro-military and try to get all the woke crap cleaned out of that place, which I know you're passionate about as well. What else? What does it mean to have Tom in that role?
Well, Tom is the conference chair, basically somebody that runs our caucus meetings, stands up and puts the agenda together. There's really no power to it. It's just a position where you work basically for the leader, but it is not an appointed position. It's an elected position. So Tom's very good at that. He's structured. As you said, he's been military before. He works very hard. I work very hard with him on the Armed Services Committee. But conference chair is pretty much a position where you just try to get everybody together at one time, explain, give your opinions out, but also set the agenda for everybody else to talk during the caucus meeting.
Okay, so now we have John Thune. There's no going back now. John Thune was obviously not my choice. What do we expect out of John Thune going forward? Are we expecting he is going to go along with what the people want in the country? Are we expecting him to buck that? I understand, talking to Rick Scott yesterday, that Mitch McConnell ran things pretty tyrannically in the Senate. Is that going to stop? What do we expect going forward?
I think it'll be more open. John Thune spoke today, and he spoke about giving everybody an opinion. Mitch McConnell had been in it way too long. He'd got his army around him basically, and it was hard to crack into that leadership role. But at the end of the day, you different leaders use different techniques. We'll wait and see what John Thune does and how he does it. As we speak, he is meeting with President Trump. He is being the new leader. He spoke to the press, and now he's sitting down with President Trump to try to give him his agenda. But Jesse, he's going to work with President Trump. He has no choice. anybody in there that we'd have voted for would have been in that situation. And he's going to have to prove himself early. President Trump is going to be hard to work with because he's going to be demanding a lot, and he should demand a lot. We have a short period of time in which to get President Trump's confirmations through. Do as much as we can with the tax reform, the border, inflation, all those things. We have got a short period of time, and the Democrats are going to try to block everything that we do. And John Thune's going to have to be a fighter on the floor of the United States Senate.
Yeah, he certainly is. Okay, speaking of those confirmations, last night it was announced that Pete Hegseth, combat veteran, 2 tours, total stud. Pete Hegseth is going to be Trump's nominee for Secretary of Defense. Very out-of-the-box pick, not someone you would traditionally think. No generals, no admirals. I love it. I think we need a new, younger, fresh way of thinking, but then that brings us to the Senate, where a man like Pete has to get confirmed. Do you view these confirmations as having serious roadblocks with the majority we have, as thin as it is?
I would love for Pete to be the first person up for confirmation when we take over in January. Of course, President Trump will not be inaugurated to the 12th. We need a Secretary of Defense immediately. To me, he's the perfect choice. I've spent hours working and tried to fight against this woke DEI that's in the military as we speak. Secretary Austin has been a disaster. Mark Milley was a disaster. I spend hours a week with all these military people coming in for hearings. We've got some good people in the military. We've got people that want to have the strongest and best military in the world. Problem is, it starts from leadership in the Pentagon, which is an absolute disaster. And we have so many generals that they fall over each other trying to make a decision. And so we need somebody like Pete that's going to go in and shake it up and start from the Pentagon down and get woke and shit for the world. When this comes in last second, and let people know that, hey, we're back, we're here to stay, and we're one of the most lethal fighting machines that's ever been assembled. And Pete can do that. We just got to give him the ability to get out there and get started.
Yeah. Coach, thank you as always. I appreciate you. I'll see you soon. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.